Hello, my lovely sitting at myself to the stream yard then. Hello, Jilly. Hello, Kelsey. Hello, John. I put the here we go. Here's the man himself.
Hello, Anne. Hello, Anne. How you doing?
All right, and you?
I'm fine, yeah. I haven't let Donna hear that last message you sent, but I'll save that after this.
That's later. Do you want to share this on your channel as well, John?
Nah, I'm happy just giving you here, pal. I actually shared just before I come on here. I shared it. It doesn't matter to me, Anne. It's up to yourself.
It's up to you if you want to. Oh, you're getting the bucket sound. John, you're going in and out. You can't understand the word yourself. You're getting that tin can effect where you fade in and out.
That better?
That's better. That's much better. Much better.
Much better. I'm waiting in the. Sorry, to interrupt. I'm waiting in the fibre optic getting put in. It's
got in.
So I'm gonna jump to signal to signal here.
And just to let people know, update you. Don't know whether everyone's heard the Titan, the submarine, the Titanic submarine that went down. They found debris, so it looks very much like, which I think is merciful. It imploded. Yeah. So they wouldn't have been languishing, because if it imploded, it's like being hit by an express train. You just explode. You don't feel anything.
They've been over very quickly.
Very quickly. They wouldn't have even known what
they might have been unconscious actually before it happened.
Yeah. Whereas languishing, they're suffocating, which there was no chance of getting them back. So it's a horrible thing to have happened either way, but thankfully it was a merciful passing, because I think that's what most people think, them down there languishing in what was a coffin, which was it's horrendous. So hopefully that's what happened. It just imploded, and that was the end. Very, very sudden and quick.
To be honest, Dan, when I seen the price they were charging and what they were actually getting into, I expected something like a state of the art type thing.
Yeah.
I was very shocked. I was shocked to see how much they were paying for so little. I mean, I've got divers workwears, right? So going down to like 70 meters is like the most. I worked between 7 and 10 meters of water for divers, kept it easy for them. Going down to like 300 and 400 meters. I mean, wow.
It's just well, you see, sometimes they've got to understand that certain things you don't open to the public to do, because it's just too goddamn dangerous. And he said every time that goes down, something happens. But again, there's this thing, and this would be interesting to find out. They had to sign a waiver saying that potentially it was a high risk of dying, which it is. Like when you go up Everest, there's a high risk of dying if you do something like that. But I've often had this argument with people, well, not argument, discussion. I remember I had this with the Decahegi fighting and all that. I said, look, you can't negate your way out for legal things. So if there was anything wrong or precautions were taken, which we're finding out now, it wasn't tested, this didn't happen, that didn't happen, you can't sign yourself out of being legally liable for it. But it sounds like they were totally negligent in what they did. They didn't have, because straight away they were saying they should have had things, I don't understand, but things on the side that would send out a signal for so often. If anything happened, it would, so that they could be located. And that's what I thought. If you can get a tracker now for a car, you can get a tracker for a human.
I don't think it'd work down at that sort of meters down, to be honest.
No, they said they would. They said they're better than radio signals. Yeah, they have something. It's not like a radio signal, but it will send it. That's it.
Yeah, it's like we what I would call it in fishing layman's terms is AIS. That's a Scottish Fishery Protection, and any boat over kind of 10 meters has to use its AIS. And then you get a black box for your boat. So basically, like an aeroplane, if an aeroplane goes down, you can get them for a boat. It also sets off a signal to the lifeboats, and you can locate the boat if it's sunk. So yeah, I don't know why they never had such thing. If it was going to work at that meter, I don't know why
Yeah,
they've not had it on it.
absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know when you think would you do something like that. I used to think, so, well, what are you going to see? And someone put it succinctly, said, when you go down there, don't that you see is different shades of grey. They said you
Yeah,
don't see anything but different, and
it's
you're only seeing a tiny part of the ship. You're not seeing the
pitch
whole
black.
lot.
It's pitch black.
Yeah. So it said you can't see much at all. But now, with modern technology, which is amazing, we'll all soon be able to walk around the whole of the Titanic wreck because the photograph scanned it. And they've got
Yeah.
the technology to do a hologram now of the actual ship. So you can actually walk around the thing and see it, which is but again, when people have got loads of money, this is it, Joe. And you
Well,
can't blame them.
we actually fitted the boats out, and with it was basically like a 3D image thing. So let's say there's a few shipwrecks out in the Clyde, for
Mm,
example, at the Irish Sea. Now, if we can find that, because you can find them on your plotter, which would be something that would show the shoals of fish or whatever. Now,
yeah.
if we found a shipwreck, we could circle that boat, and the more we circled it, the more the picture would build up. And I'm going back to 2018 here, when
Yeah.
Navionics and stuff like that, that's the kind of name of these things, brought out this technology. And
Mm,
I actually took a boat from Girvan to Milford Haven, and it took me, I think, 28 hours with an iPad, because it was going down for it was a lovely boat, but it needed refitted. And I
yeah.
actually took it down with a hardwired iPad, uh, with a small set of jump leads, and it 28 hours, and it took me around every single rock crevice,
Mm,
every bit of danger that you to keep away from. And it also showed you enough of on the AIS. You can download an app that shows you where
mm,
aeroplanes is. You can download one that will show you where every boat is. And it
yeah.
also, so like you're driving in the dark. The sea's very daunting at night time. Very, very daunting, because it's no like you try and get into a harbour during the day, but you
Mm,
get into a harbour at night time for the first time that you've never went into. It's very, very daunting. So to have, you need the best of technology on the boats. So I can't imagine to pay £2,500 to go down and see this. I'd have thought that they had the
million,
best
Joe. Joe,
technology.
2,500,000. 2,500,000, a quarter of a million you had to pay to go down and see the Titanic.
Quarter of a million.
Quarter of a million, yeah,
That's
each.
not funeral for everybody that was in it.
But this is it. Big Ben is just asking what's happened. They found debris, so it looks like, which is a Macy death in a way, that imploded. So the pressure imploded the ship. They wouldn't have even had time to feel anything. So they found the debris though, so they're not languishing. They haven't suffocated to death. Thank
That's
God.
just why divers, like people will get to me. Could you get my shot diving? And I always ask their age, and this maybe
Mm,
sounds bad, right? Because like if you're diving, it's 10 to 30. Let's say you're diving at 30 to 50 meters of water, right? Let's say you're running low in air, you're not keeping an eye on things, and you come up very quickly. Then you have to get into the decompression chamber.
yeah, the bends.
You get the bends, and that's
Mm,
basically oxygen goes into your bloodstream, and it's
yeah.
very dangerous. Uh, we've only got, I think, one decompression chamber, and I think it's Aberdeen. So let's say something happened at Girvan Harbour, for example, we would have to then get the diver airlifted and taken to Aberdeen, which is,
Mm.
I don't know, bloody 5 hour drive, 6 hour drive from Girvan. Uh, yeah, there's a lot to it, and this is why divers get paid a lot of money very quickly, because by the time they get to the age of 45, 50 year old, they're buggered basically. They're because of the depth some of them work at in these oil rigs.
Mm.
They make a lot of money, they'll make it quickly, but they have to, it's like a football player making a lot of money. They have to plan ahead with it and invest it into something, because before they know it, they're 50-year-old and basically unemployable, because their
Yeah.
kneecaps are away, that their arthritis is setting in left, right, and centre, and it's all just because of a bit of neglect and cutting corners, I suppose.
But you see, the thing is, especially with modern technology, they shouldn't ever, a human doesn't have to. And this is a thing that was talked about. You know, when they're talking about we can't hear aliens if they're out there and all that. They said if they're an advanced technology, they'd never travel to the other planets. They'd send machines to do it. And this is the thing. No human needs to go down and explore the Titanic. No human needs to go to these other planets. You can send, well, we always send in machines. And this is it. So really, when they went down there, and this is another thing, there was a fella on it with his son, wasn't it? Now, this is another issue. Should he have gone with his son? And I always say, do you remember years ago, don't know if you remember this, Joe? There was a huge kickoff. Princess Diana got on a plane with William and Harry and flew somewhere, and there was a massive kickoff. They're never supposed to all go like that, because if something happens, that means the whole line, the next line to the throne, is wiped out.
The bloodline's gone, yeah.
Yeah,
the bloodline's very, very important, but yeah. I'd be a hypocrite in saying some things here. So, but yeah, you're right. The bloodline's gone then.
So he shouldn't have gone down with his son. He should have said, right, one of us go down, but not together. Just remember that, people. If ever you're going anywhere, always remember, you've got to be careful that you don't wipe your whole bloody family out in the process. Yeah. That sounded a bit bleak, didn't it? But there you go.
A dad should always will put his self in front of taking the hat off for the son.
Hopefully.
That's basically the way I was brought up. Put it that way.
Look, some of the fathers now, they can't be asked with the kids, so
well,
no, I don't think they think that.
Well, mine just fell out with me, but it is what it is. I mean, they're not entirely kids nowadays, but I think maybe because I was brought up and I never had it like real easy, but it was kind of fairly spoiled, and I was thought that was the kind of way forward, and but I don't know. You know, I've not been. I've certainly not been the best of parents. I mean, I struggled with addiction like for the best part of 16 years. So with an addiction, you become a selfish bee by all accounts. It's no through wanting being a selfish bastard. Excuse the French. That's just what it makes you become, a selfish person, because you're chasing an addiction, which a lot of people might. There's a lot of people out there struggling with addiction, but the biggest drug dealer in the world for me is the pharmaceutical companies, where government is the biggest drug dealer. That they created a problem. They started bringing in drug testing for prisoners smoking cannabis, and prisoners would lose their parole. So then they started smoking heroin in prison, because the heroin was out the system within 2 days, where cannabis was in it for 28 days. And, you know, the government's got a lot to blame for exactly what's happening here, and bad drugs getting made, put out in the streets, because, you know, people are looking for the next thing.
Joe, this is the thing. You can blame the government so far. You can blame the pharmaceutical companies so far, but people have to get, and this is what's wrong with this world, no one takes personal responsibility now, and that's it. You've got to start taking, I'm not saying blame, I have no sympathy with people who are hooked on drugs, I'm not saying that, because I always say they're for the grace of God, they're but for the grace of God go I just wasn't born in a place or a area where people took drugs or anything like that. But if I had been, most probably I would have easily got on some. But what I'm saying is, you've got to get, it starts with the people. They've got to stop looking to the governments and other people saying, you stop this. No, you as a community stop it. Not looking out, because you blame them.
What I say, Anne, right? So I'm 48, right? And the kids at school nowadays, the same school I went to, have got no more drugs education nowadays than what I had back then. None whatsoever. It's not improved one bit. So my way of looking at things nowadays is, rather than tell somebody not to take something, educate them if they're going to take it. Yeah, what to do if it goes wrong, because or educate them on what to take safely. It'll not go wrong. It's like when, let's say, when the ecstasy was getting put about and Leah Betts and that died. Now, I mean, if that girl had been educated, or people round about her had been educated in how much water to give her, she'd have probably still been here today. And that's basically kind of followed through the full country. People's not getting educated in schools. It's like we're being controlled to a certain degree because they don't want to educate us on. Why not? My first protocol would be English, maths, and drugs, because it's no point in learning.
And guess what? If you have sex together, you're going to produce a baby. That's what they also want to get in there, because God knows what's gone wrong there. How suddenly, with all the precautions we have now, people are still getting caught by surprise being pregnant. So they need all this in there. But you see, you can talk about it. It was different years ago, John, and we don't want to go back to those days. But they held under control by public shame. People wouldn't do it, certain things, because to do it would bring the wrath of the communities down on them. So they didn't do it, but we don't have that now. It's everyone's, as I say, it's a selfish world we live in. There's no responsibility, just I want. That way.
The difference between, I spoke to somebody the other day there who was in South Africa, and I don't want to be bad here, but the reality of it, you'll smell a dead carcass before you see it, and there's dead baby carcasses basically lying about. Like that's just the reality in the world we're living in. Where some days I'll sit and think, you know what, I want better, but then I sit and think, I've got everything we need. It's like, and some, I'd be happy just putting it on a tent and make sure the mosquitoes can't get in, and just enjoying it for there. It's like, sometimes I feel like flinging all the technology away, every single part of it away, and just turning my whole back in humanity and just getting away. And, because people are, everybody might say I'm very controversial on YouTube and everything, but as you know, you've spoken to us personally. Who you see on YouTube is not John Wasson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not that person.
You're not that person. What it is, I think, a lot of the time, what you do is you react off the cuff. In other words, you wear your heart on your sleeve. So when you blow, you really blow, and you don't like hypocrisy. I know that.
No, I don't know.
That drives you.
I don't
mad.
like.
I think if someone's hypocritical, then that drives you absolutely wild. That's the worst.
Well, you know what? That other night there, when I had a wee going when I was in Motel's Live, I just wanted him to put his camera on, because I knew when that person put that camera on, people who would dislike me would laugh at the sides of his head, and I just thought I was just going to do it in my way of doing it. But again, a lot of people think, what an asshole that guy really is. But I'm not here. It's like, me and you didn't see eye to eye for 2 years, at least. And a lot of people, but I'll let people infiltrate me. People manage to get into my head to, like, this person's no nice person, this person's no nice person. But you're just who you are, and I'm just who I am. And I'll not let anybody infiltrate me and say, oh, stay away from that person. I'll find out that person myself. Unless it's somebody I know,
Yeah.
I would never let anybody, again, infiltrate me, especially in YouTube. YouTube's a funny old place. I'm hoping, what do you call them? I was hoping like somebody like Radio Babs or someone would pop on and have a wee chat with us tonight, and I would explain why I came to the conclusion of why I think Radio Babs is an ex-policewoman.
Well,
I was hoping Banter would maybe jump on.
Here we are, John. Just let's jump in there about Radio Babs, right? I never had an opinion about Radio Babs. I'd heard things about, not just from you, way before you did, or a time before you. I kept on hearing this name, and not in a good way, being quoted, Radio Babs. So you're not the only one that has issues with it, or him. I don't know who it is, but I didn't have an issue until I was last on WOWZERS, when you were on there. There was someone in the chat saying the most horrendously insulting things about me being in sex. It was really below the belt. So I got this person and hit them off the line. Didn't block them, I just hit them, so that you couldn't see the filth they were coming out with. Straight away, she went and unhid them. So as far as I'm concerned, Babs, you can go and get stuffed. And if John or anyone else wants to talk to you about in a derogatory manner on my channel, they can do. because you unblocked that person. And as I said to her in the chat, I said, you are promoting hate speech here. So go ahead, John. Whatever you want to say.
I will explain it because I've never ever explained it properly. Why I think Radio Babs is who I believe to be Barbara Sharkey. Okay, Barbara Sharkey appeared on Sean Atwood's podcast. She's an ex-undercover police woman who worked at a Northumberland constabulary. Then she hit addiction herself, and she struggled through addiction. I think alcohol was her main addiction, and she got she basically got addicted. I'd probably say working undercover, she probably took every drug out there. Okay, no, probably. I think she actually said that. Now she voiced her opinion, and she said I was very good at pretending to be somebody else. Now somebody say surely you can't take that and just because she sounds like somebody. No, you're right, I can't. But listen, then you've got Gordon from Wolfpack Hunters. Okay, who's up Maryhill's kind of way in Glasgow. Gordon Buchanan's been hit with a 3-year ban from hunting. He's got a tag on his ankle, I believe he got it a few weeks ago. Now, Gordon Buchanan has been beside Decker. Bear in mind, he claimed to be the biggest hunter, okay? The most successful predator, paedophile hunting team in the UK at one point, he was shouting. But he's also friends with Decker, I think, since either 2014 or 2016. Now, I contacted Gordon Buchanan a couple of years ago, 2019. He betrayed me, right? I told him I'd done a Sarah's Clare's Law on Decker, and I told him what I'd come back. I also shared personal stuff that I've never showed to anybody on the internet because I trusted him, because I thought being the biggest team that he was boasting to be. Then after it, I find out he was actually friends with Decker Heggie and promoted him through bare knuckle fighting in 2016. A lot of people still looking for Gordon Buchanan through sponsor money, which is irrelevant right now. But listen, Gordon Buchanan, his child's name is Jay Sharkey, and I'm saying child, he's a young boy.
Wait a minute, wait. Should we be mentioning kids' names here?
Yes, we can, because he's an adult. He's in his 20s now, right? He's got a son called Jay Sharkey, okay? Now, Gordon Buchanan always boasted to me he had somebody who was in or used to be in the police force who could tell him, who could get to find out things about people. And Gordon Buchanan came back and told me that Decker Heggie was not in the file of any sort, i.e. Clare's Law, Sarah's Law, blah, 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 as any risk whatsoever. And I just thought, you're full of shit. Yeah. So then I found out everything else. But then I find out that Barbara Sharkey actually came from, she went to Highland High School. Gordon Buchanan's wife sadly died when he was in remand for stinging somebody wrong. He got his whole team remanded for 3 weeks. His wife sadly passed away. She was a Sharkey. And that's why the son had the name Sharkey. He's not a Buchanan, he's Sharkey. Okay, so I put 2 and 2 together, yeah, and I come up with 4. Because one night, and I'm not saying the guy's name, but he came from Ireland. Radio Babs has always claimed from the beginning she worked with the boy from Ireland. I'm not mentioning me, it doesn't mention me anymore, I'm not mentioning him, right? But he's from Ireland. Radio Babs said that him and her had been a team from the beginning. She controls the channel, basically. She can mute people. It's not her channel, but she does a mute and all the rest of it, yeah? Now, that person from Ireland said to me, but you lied to Gordon through Wolfpack. It just totally out the blue one night. And I went, why did you ask that question? Where have I ever lied to Gordon from Wolfpack Hunters? Where have I ever lied to him? Please tell me where I've ever lied to God. You said that you done a Clare's Law, but it was a Sarah's Law. I went, Sarah's Law, Clare's Law, what's the difference, yeah? You're either a risk or you're no risk. I couldn't remember what one I told him it was on, right? But I thought to myself, oh, okay, so why would you bring Gordon Buchanan, who's never been anything to do with this, yeah, into this? And then I started going on the hunt. And I came across Barbara Sharkey on Sean Atwood's. And I went, you sound like somebody very, very, very familiar. And you've seen how much the person for Ireland and me and him had a go at each other. And that's how I came up with the conclusion. Because at the end of the day, if she's on YouTube to cause no trouble, yeah, to be content creator and that, show your face. Unless you want to be rude to people. And you're either a professional troll or you're an ex-copper working on behalf of the police. That's the way I look at it. That's my opinion. People might disagree with that opinion. People might say, why should somebody have to show you their face just because you're saying it? Well, all I'm saying is, to prove that I'm wrong, show your face. I will apologise to the bottom of my heart. But until then, you're either a professional troll or you're an ex-undercover police working with active police officers. And bearing in mind, Anne, we've came across people like, i.e. detectives, private detectives, and that'll take to the grave with me. Yeah, we've found all these people when at the end of the day, and they're working partners and all the rest of it. I mean, there's stories there I will take to the grave with me, i.e. as long as I stay away from my friends, family and loved ones. That's the way it goes. But that's why I came to the conclusion that Barbara Sharkey is Radio Babs, because when she was undercover and Northumberland Constabulary, she was known as Barbarella.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people can say, okay, you're a wee bit of conspiracy theories here, but I think Wolfpack Hunters, Gordon Buchanan, always claimed he had somebody in the police, and his whole team that's left him now will back me up in this, has always claimed that he, and he told me himself, had somebody who worked in the police who could check people out. So is Barbara Sharkey's husband, yeah, is it Gordon Buchanan's deceased wife's brother? There you go.
Well, what's Banter saying here? I don't understand what that means. Can you see it, John?
Hang on, I'll get a chat.
I don't know if that's to you. Who are you talking to, Banter? Are you talking to someone in the chat?
I've no glasses on, Anne, so I don't know if it.
Well, it says, I'll read it out to you. So basically, this is because you've still got the hots for fighting Irish. I'm not a fish. I don't take the bait. Peace out. I don't know what that means. That's just gone right over.
Well, there you go. Banter. See how you cannot pull me into that one there, because I just said somebody from Ireland. So you have now just confirmed that Radio Babs and Fighting Irish. I've never said Fighting Irish tonight. Not once.
No, not once.
Not once. Okay.
That's why I couldn't
so don't
understand.
pull me in Fighting Irish back into it. We've been there. That can't happen. As I said to you the other night there, your interrogation isn't very good. You need to improve your skills, please. Come on and have a decent chat with me.
Well, he won't, because
if you can,
no, he said he's not interested in having a.
So it's banter. So me saying all that stuff there tonight, yeah, I didn't want to come out with all that on the internet. But at the end of the day, people push you to, well, so just because somebody sounds like somebody. No, I didn't want to come out with the full story. But I've come out with the full story tonight. Now, at the end of the day, Barbara Sharkey went to Hindland School. It's about 3 miles from where Gordon Buchanan and Jay Sharkey stay. Yeah, so is Jay Sharkey Radio Bab's nephew? That's it. Or have they been breaking the rules and just saying to Gordon Buchanan, yeah, he's fine, there's nothing against these people, when they've not been looking? Have they been using police technology to do things that they shouldn't be doing? I don't mind policemen, but I don't like corrupt police. That's my problem. I don't like corrupt policemen. Because at the end of the day, everybody, we need law, yeah? Because at the end if there's no law there, the place has just become a third world country very, very quickly. But I don't like corruption. I don't like people who's been convicted of serious crimes, i.e. rape, etc., being used as police informers. That goes against everything I stand for, everything. And I'm very, very passionate about it. But that's why I've came to the conclusion Radio Babs is Barbara Sharkey.
Yeah.
Sorry, Banter. If you don't like that, you asked me the other night. I didn't want to come out with all that, but that's where it is. That's where I am with it. I know what school she went to. I know too much. I wish I didn't know it, but there you go.
Hopefully, because I thought Banter would agree to come on, but it's up to him. He doesn't want to, and you'll talk.
I've not got a problem with Banter, right? At the end of the day, Banter, I'm just telling you, Banter, why I've came to that conclusion. It wasn't
But
just because I seen something shown outwards.
Just let's jump in here. But the other day, it did sound like on Motos that you had a serious problem with Banter. It did sound like
well,
that.
Because banter, I think, can insults my intelligence sometimes, just because I speak a wee bit slow, and just because I used to have a drug habit, and some nights I might come on drunk. I think you can insult my intelligence and of. I'm not the brightest person, yeah, but I have got one of the brightest person I've ever came across beside me most of the time, which is a great help in life.
Mate, I'm not beside you. I'm not beside you. What do you mean I'm beside? I'm the brightest person you've ever met. Well, met online anyway.
I mean, this is the thing, and you know, it's like I don't just think, oh, you know, I've got it wrong before, yeah, but I got it wrong with, like, I'm not mentioning his name because he'll strike your channel, but the Beast of Brineston from Wales. I got it wrong with him because I thought he was a nice person and you were the bad person. Yeah, and then I read into him. I read into him and the things that he stole, i.e. in stories against about sexual abuse, etc. What he's claimed to
before, I know, just before we go on to him, because it's going to start getting out same things that the algorithm's going to start hitting on. You can't avoid it. But all that I say on that, we'll get off the subject, is I don't know what the hell made him go for me, other than I actually spoke to Sonia Polton, and that was it. I was enemy number one, and that's all I did. Spoke to Sonia Polton. I mean, I'm not a fan of Sonia Polton. She's not a fan of mine.
Me neither. Me neither. I've never spoken to a woman, and it's a bit like Sharon Gale. I felt really sorry for her at one point, until there was a point of no return. There was a point where I couldn't protect her. We couldn't help her. We couldn't help her any longer.
Help her, Sharon Gale. Oh, good God.
I mean, it's a bit like, listen, but banter. I know you're listening, right? You tagged me. I put up a wee post going, ooh, ooh, it's the sound of the police. And I tagged Radio Babs in it. I done it for a laugh, right? Maybe a bit of dark humour. You didn't like it. And you said, we know he's a bleep, blah, 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 blah. Why would you put somebody, blah, blah, blah? Wait a minute. Does Radio Babs come on and speak? She's very intelligent. We know she's good with computers. Yeah. We know banter. You could be Radio Babs, because I don't know if we've even heard the two of you on together. It's quite easy for me to put a voice changer on this right now and sound like a woman. It's very easy. I could do it in 2 minutes and confuse everybody in the chat. But why? I'm not here to lie. I'm here for a bit of controversy because I love it. And I'm here to out a lot of wrong people. Now, I'm not saying Barbara, Radio Babs, is a wrong one. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is who I think she is. And until she shows her face, no fake driving license, yeah, until she shows her face to somebody I trust, then I'm sticking to my guns.
Well, let's put it this way. You say she's not a bad one. I'd say she is, because she promotes really horrendous bigotry.
Well, we've got to take that back, because I get into trouble for tagging on that post, right, with Decca, right? I tagged her, and I get into trouble, Banter getting me into trouble, and went blah, blah, blah. But wait a minute, does Radio Babs come on and speak like an intelligent person? No, she doesn't. She comes on and speaks filth. She comes on and speaks about dicks and bitches and blah, 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 and all the rest of it. So that's come on, where are we here? Is she on to just direct channels? Is she on just direct channels? Or is she on to be a professional troll? Or is she on to act like she's just a bad person to get in with bad people to get information? You know, I'm not a conspiracy theory. I don't smoke dope. I don't sit in my bed at night and think, oh, the earth's flat, and if we keep running, we're going to fall off. I'm not one of the people. I'm just saying it as I think it, and how I came to the conclusion of it over 4 years of being stuck, you know, try to get people to believe you as a dangerous bloody predator out there, Loose.
But shall I tell you something, John? Do you know, don't mention any male bodily parts again, because I think Kelsey just nearly fainted when you said that word.
Sorry.
So Kelsey, she's very delicate. She's let's put this way.
Sorry, Kelsey.
She is a maiden that does not know the ways of the world, and we have to be. That's why I don't allow any smut talk on here, because Kelsey will be swooning and needing the smelling salts.
Well, anyway, she was talking about walnut whips and stuff like that, Kelsey. So can that have a bit of humour?
Oh God. Oh God, blimey.
Windmills and walnut whips. It depends if you went to Decca Heggie or Paddy Conroy, you went for a windmill to a walnut whip. That kind of range. So that's a bit of humour to it. That's as far as I'm going. Sorry, Kelsey. If you're not used to that kind of chat, I'll try and kind of be bright. I've got a fake PP in the chat. Fake PP.
Oh yeah, that's it. The fake PP. Do you think it's the real one?
I like PP. PP and me going really well. Again, I didn't like him right at the beginning because I let people get in between us. But I speak to PP on a personal level.
Yeah, and I bet he says everything you want to hear, doesn't he? He says
no, but I'll tell you what. He always talks about the fish that got away. He always talks about the fish that got away.
But what PP does, this PP, I've noticed. That's why I'm very wary of him. He'll always tell you exactly what you want to hear, and it will change from person to person. Suddenly he's with exposure. Suddenly he's talking about God, and he's talking about peace and love and all this business, mimicking exposure. He'll always tell you, PP, what you want to hear. If you're a Buddhist, he'd suddenly be quoting Buddhist quotes. And I'm on edge with people like that. I don't know. I'm not saying he's bad person. He's never done anything to me, but I'm always wary of people that go on like that. I'd rather have someone argue with me or, disagree with me than someone that's always agreeing with it.
Well, I slowly but surely I've been learning a wee bit, obviously, to go to different countries and that. It's being respectful to the country I go to. I try and learn a wee bit about their beliefs and their religion and what they abide by and etc. I think it's important if you're going to go to countries far away. I think it's important for everybody to learn the basics. If not, you're going to get into trouble very, very, very bloody quickly. Very, very, very quickly. Like everybody thinks, for example, let's say when Dubai. Everybody thinks like you can go and just get drunk. You can go and get drunk in Dubai, but you can't just go out there and buy drink in the streets and that can't happen. You can order drink and get delivered. You can go to parties, there'll be drink there. If you go to Thailand, everybody thinks like Thailand, you just think Rolf Harris and that. Now, like, I'm going to be honest, Pattaya, I didn't like. It's seedy as hell. I didn't like it. But
well,
would I stay in Pattaya? No, I wouldn't stay in Pattaya. No, for under no money.
I said before, right, on a comment, and just think what you think of this, John. I think you're there. Someone was saying about, I can't remember who it was, Grasses and Nonsense Exposed, I think his name is.
Jimmy.
He was saying, right, that, what would you do, 30 years in jail or 30 years in Thailand? And I said, well, saying about being free in Thailand. And I said, but are you free in Thailand? Because, John, I've never been there, but whenever I see people who've been in Thailand for a prolonged period, a Westerner, they're always either alcoholics or drug addicts. And they seem far from being happy, yet they're in a beautiful area. And they go on about beauty and all this, but they smashed out the brains.
Well, I'd say, to be honest, the wine, a bottle of wine in Thailand is roughly 15 quid for a bottle of Sauvignon Blanc. It costs about £6 in the co-op, okay? If anybody wants to try and go and get things like cocaine, etc., good luck to you, yeah? I'm going to advise you, if he's ever come to Dubai or Thailand, do not go on to these streets and ask for drugs, because what you'll do is the police will have somebody sell you drugs. You walk out of close, they will grab you, they'll take you to a house, yeah. And there's a lot of people went missing because you're either given the name of the other ones that if you get caught with drugs in your car in places like Thailand, good luck, because they will take you to a safe house allegedly, and there's been a lot of people went missing because at the end of the day, they will. You could probably, let's say somebody assaulted you in Thailand and you defended yourself, you're going to go to court and you're going to get hammered for defending yourself. You're not allowed to defend yourself.
Well, I know that baby Jesus, he was saying something interesting. I was watching him talking to Grasses, and he said something very, very interesting. I think he's in Thailand. I might be wrong. No, he's somewhere else. He's not Thailand, is he? He's in Bali, isn't he? I think somewhere like that. I don't know.
This baby Jesus, I don't know what it is on.
But what he turned around and said was that the police will stop you when he's on his motorbike, right? Oh, this police bus cried. Wait a minute, Koshka, he's crying. See where down, Koshka. Yeah, what? Hello, darling. He's just come back in. Yeah, he was saying that they'll stop him on his motorbike and they'll say they're going to arrest him, but they'll say, "Give us money and we won't arrest him." Whatever he's got in his pockets, he'll give to them. And he said at first, when it first happened to him, he had what was the equivalent of £70 in his pocket. He said, which to them is a lot of money. So he handed that over. His lawyer or someone told him, no, they said, always carry around about £7. And they said,
you want to carry at least 1,000 baht, which is about £24 today's market.
Well, he said second, he must know easily. It happened to him, doesn't he? So he must know wherever he is what the thing is. And he said they took that up. They'll take whatever you've got in your pocket. So it doesn't sound like a happy paradise to me.
Well, I think what you find is the chief. There's never been any promotions, funny enough.
Well, wait a minute, John.
Thailand.
I've got someone here, 100% banter. Banter, I'm not going to put you on the screen, but I need to know it's you. I don't know how to put that freaking thing up. You know where you put a screen on?
Oh, you need to download one on so you can put a full. But at the end of the day, if Banter shows his face to you, I can't see it. It's only you can see it.
You can't see.
I can't see it, no.
So you could, because it says 100%. Well, let's go. Just wait a minute, Banter. Wait a minute. John, let's talk. Let's talk. Oh, it is 100%. Well, I'm going to take a chance, Banter. I'll just hover over the eject button if it's not him. But I was looking to see if it said 100%. So.
Hi, it's me.
Oh, why you Banter? The 100% threw me. So, okay, welcome to the chat. So, I won't let things get horrible and insulting. So, if you and John want to talk, please do.
Well, I've just come up because you know what? It's boring. It's boring now. I've got me when it concerns me and my channel. I've got a good thing going on, and this whole nonsense is boring. And then hearing his full story like that, it makes me honestly, I want to cry laughing because it's so far fetched. It's so far fetched, and it's stupid. Where it concerns Babs, I know her in real life. Yeah. I come from where she comes from. We're not related, right? I know 1,000% you're wrong. I know 1,000% that you're wrong, and that's why I'm so adamant on this, because you're wrong, and I understand where you're coming from. I get what you're saying. All these people that you talk about, I understand that you might what you say might be 1,000% correct, but what you're getting wrong is the person that you're saying is a person. It's not that person.
Would it make sense if you didn't know her?
Would what make sense?
Well, what makes sense?
What I said before you come on about how I think who she is, would it make sense to you if you didn't know her personally?
As a rational thinking person, no, not in slightest.
Well, I think you're talking shit.
Oh no, John, come on, don't get it nasty now.
I'm not being nasty, I'm just speaking my mind as I always do.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, right?
His reaction is a reflection of how he feels, which is says everything to me. Your own actions.
Because Banter, I know, honestly, if you're saying you didn't know her, you try to say what I said tonight to come up with that conclusion. You try to say that's like saying the Earth's flat and we're going to fall off it. You try to say that's a conspiracy.
I think it's delusional. I think you say too many things that you take for granted as fact, and you say things like you said about Irish. You said about
fact.
you said.
I never said
Do you want me to
once
finish?
it was
Do you want me to finish, or do you
never
want to
said
interrupt me
once
and
it was
move on?
fact,
Well,
I'm just not letting you put words in my mouth, Banter.
No,
I'm not putting
wait
words in your mouth. These words are coming out of my
Wait a
mouth.
minute.
These are my words.
Wait
I'm
a
not.
minute.
I
I've
can't
never
speak
said
for you,
fact.
honestly.
Right,
I've not said for a
I'm
fact
eating the
once,
blood.
Banter.
Right.
Okay.
Just let's put this way, right? I want the two of you to stop talking over each other.
Okay,
I want
Anne.
the two
You
of
can
you
mute
to
my
give
mic.
each
I
other
can
a chance.
unmute it.
And then get on it. But what you're doing, John, is every time Banter goes to talk, you're right in there. Let him finish it. Then he'll pause. And then you say what you want to say afterwards. So
Okay.
go on, Banter.
Okay.
You say your say, then you say your
So
say.
he makes a lot of statements that he takes as, and he says them as if they're truthful and the fact. Like he said about let's not mention his name because he didn't want to mention his name. He said a certain Irish person that she ran his channel from the start. That's what he said. Do you know when we all became friends, John? Do you know, as a direct question to you, did you know when all of us became friends and were on his channel? Do you know when that happened, and do you know why that happened?
No, mate. All I know is Radio Bab said one night, I've been here with the Irishman from the beginning. That was all. That's all I know.
Right. Well, you should
I'll tell you why
rewatch.
she did. She muted somebody. I think it was Incognito, if I believe, if I'm right. She said, "That's right, Incognito. I'm muting you because you're not capable of what you're trying to achieve. Would you just shut up?" And yes, I have got the mute button because I've been here with the man from Ireland from the beginning, and that was from her own mouth, mate, not mine.
Well, you should rewatch. You should rewatch what you think you've seen. The reason we all became friends is because of the accusations that you made. Now, if that's the reason why you came to the conclusion, how can we all become friends when it was the accusations you made about us all that brought us all together? Now, that can't have been before you made those accusations, because the accusations are what brought us together.
Wait a minute, mate. Fighting Irish was on YouTube long before me.
Right? Yeah, we're on YouTube long before me as well.
Right. So Radio Babs is saying she was on Fighting Irish with him from the beginning.
No, she's not saying. No. See, this is where you're mistaken. That's what you're saying. She's not saying that. Nobody said that other than
Radio
you.
Babs.
She became friends, like I became friends with him, when you started making accusations that we were all police.
Banter, you'll not let me finish, mate. She said that the night she muted Incognito, she said, "That's right, it is the Fighting Irish's channel, but unfortunately I've been here from the beginning and I can mute you, Incognito." That's what she said.
Honestly, you've misheard it. You've misheard it again, and you've put all of these numbers together, and you've come up with something, and you're making yourself sound stupid. Honestly, you really do. You're coming across. I always respected what you did. I always thought, do you know what? If he says he's a wrong un, he's a wrong un. And then where it concerns this and the way that you've acted around it, anything you say from now on, I take it with a complete pinch of salt, because you've absolutely diminished any credibility you had for me, destroyed it. I mean, literally set it on fire.
So do you believe Paddy Conroy's a good guy and telling the truth about everything?
Not a clue, because do you know what? Until you started making these accusations about us, I'd never even heard of Paddy Conroy, other than he's that guy for YouTube that were on that Gangster program with all the rest of other gangsters that were on at that time. I'm much younger. I'm much younger than any of that shite. That shite that you talk about is nonsense. Like when you said Emma Cockerell was a confirmation to you of who Radio Babs were, because Emma Cockerell had heard a voice and confirmed to you.
Please, let me jump in there, right? I'm not being rude. I said that Emma Cockerell had told us, along with a few other girls, that there was a girl called Barbarella, they called her, who turned out, they found out that she used to go out with the girls, but they didn't know she was undercover police until one night one of the DJs seen her helping one of the policemen into the back of a van with somebody.
All right, well, do you want me to? Can I interject you there? Can I interject you there? Do you remember a famous line in Brian Cockerell's documentary where he said, "I'm that much of a man, lions piss on me"? Do you remember that saying?
I've not watched the documentary, mate.
Well, I've watched the documentary, and he said that. And do you know what, other night?
So you've watched Brian Cockerell, but you never heard of Paddy Conroy.
No, listen, let me finish. There's a point. There's a point to where I'm going with this.
Okay.
I asked Emma Cockerell if this saying were true, you know, because it's a bit outlandish. And Emma Cockerell said, "I wouldn't know. I went with Brian then, and I don't know what about that." So that's before my time. The time and the date that you're talking about and that what you've said and the story that Emma's brought up predates that documentary, Brian Cockrell. So if Emma doesn't know about lions pissing on Brian, how does she know about Barbarella being Radio Babs? How does she know that when it was to do with Brian and not Emma?
I never said.
No,
Emma
you did.
Cockrell.
No, you did. You did. And I can play a clip. I can play a clip. I can upload a video to show 110% fact that you said that. You said that 110%.
But you're saying that I'm saying, you're telling me that I said Emma Cockrell, Radio Babs is Barbara Sharkey. You're saying I said that?
You did, yeah. You said you'd asked Emma Cockrell, and she told you that were she was hiding smack under the bath and all of this nonsense.
No, I said she was part of a team of corrupt fucking.
No, you changed it. No, when you got caught. No, when you got caught and you realised that actually there was holes in the story, you changed it. And I can show you saying the first version of it, and I can then show you changing your version of events later on when it's all been.
I've just proved to you you've changed your version of events right from the beginning. Because
I ain't changed any version of events. There is no events for me. See, this is it. There is no version of events. No events for me.
You're starting to jump in now. John, go on. Did you say it?
Radio Babs said, with her own mouth, yes, incognito, I'm muting you because you have not got the capabilities. And yes, it is Fighting Irish's channel, but I've been here from the beginning. Go back and bloody listen to it.
But it's simply not true. And that's fine. And also, that's Fighting Irish. Wait a second. That's also Fighting Irish's third channel. And his third channel's, what is it? Is it even a year old? But this has been there from the start.
I'm going to say, you stink a cop. You stink of a copper.
Yeah, and that's what you do, you see.
Your interrogation is absolutely dreadful. You're bottom base. You're on a basic wage, and if
I don't need to. No, you see, the thing is about you.
Wrestling in Northumberland Constabulary.
I don't need to interrogate you because do you know what you do? You
can't do it.
You spew lies and information out all by yourself. You don't need interrogating. Do you know what? You can interrogate yourself. If you just let you talk, you incriminate yourself every time you speak.
So, John, explain something to me. Why is he a copper?
Can I answer that question, Alex? Because I've got half a brain and I don't feed from his bullshit. That's what it is. That's all it is.
Fair question. If you were to meet me for the first time, what question would you ask me for the very first time you ever met me?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I won't want to ask you out. There's no that comes to my mind that before all of this, nothing. I would say now I'd want to ask you. Now, if it were now, if I met you tomorrow, I'd ask you if you were okay. I'd say you okay. That's what I'd say.
No comment.
If this was 6 months ago, I wouldn't have out to ask you.
I would say no comment. If you ask my name, I'd give you. If you ask my date of birth, and I'd give me my place.
I don't want to know any details. I don't know. I don't want to know what you look like. I don't want to know where you're from. I don't want to know anything about you. I've never asked a question about you. I've never asked a question about you in any chats. I've never asked for any information on you. I have never wanted to know a single thing about you ever. I've no reason to. I got tagged in a video yesterday where I got tagged in 15, 20 videos, and it's an account that makes videos about you. And I didn't comment, I didn't interact because I don't do any of that bullshit. And one of them mentioned your missus, and I commented and put, don't tag me in any videos mentioning women or children. Thank you very much. Because do you know what? No, listen, let me finish. That's the type of bloke I am. We don't have any of that shit. When we're in my chat and people are talking and people start saying things, we delete it. We delete it and we get rid of it because we're not into any of this bullshit. You've dragged us into this fantasy world that you live in. Now, if you want to go live in a fantasy world and you want to go do your fantasy things, that's great, but don't involve us in it. Leave us alone.
Okay.
You've got no evidence. You've got no facts. You were spouting 2 weeks ago. You were going to dox us all. You were going to put faces out there. You were going to do all this. Well, do it.
And have I done it? Have I done it?
Do it. Do it. You haven't done it because you're talking shit, mate. It's as simple as that.
You want me to put Barbara Sharkey's name and that out there?
You do whatever you want. Honestly, you do. I don't approve. I don't approve.
I'm asking you to repeat the question.
And I'm going to answer if you shut up. You've asked the question. If you shut up, I'll answer it for you. If you stop talking for a second, I'll answer it. I don't approve of anybody doxing. I don't approve of anybody doxing anybody.
Well, why
did you do that? You'll have to deal with the ramifications of what your actions have. I don't know what she's done. I don't know what your connection is with Suzanne Sharkey. You do whatever you need to do. It don't concern us, and that's the bit you're not getting. That's the bit that's not catching on for you.
The fact that Gordon Buchanan has lied to somebody where he's never been in any conversation with Radio Barb.
Don't even know who he is. Never even heard the name
Banter,
until you've mentioned it today.
Banter, let him finish, then say what he goes.
Yeah, so listen, at the end of the day, we've got somebody on there who claims to be had over 50 accents and very good at pretending to be others. So
no, he's got. I don't know what's happened there. Don't know what's happened here. Something's happened.
He's a drunken fool. He's a drunken fool. That's what's happened. And look, when I said to you, Ant, the other day, I was going to come on your panel. This want to have a discussion with him. When he said to me yesterday on my comments that he was coming on here and I was to come with him, I put a message and I put that this isn't your problem, and I'm not going to let him make it your problem. I was coming on your panel, and I thought it was next Wednesday to come on and say hello, have a laugh, and talk about all the stuff that you were talking about that day. Last Wednesday. That's why I come on and talk about none of this bullshit, because this bullshit right here is ruining YouTube for thousands and thousands and thousands of us. This guy spouting crap on a totally made up basis from whatever is going on in his own mind. That's fair enough, but he's involving innocent people, and that's not fair anymore. Do you know what it's like to go into a chat when you've been accused? Well, you probably do actually. When you've been accused of something that you're not, it makes people standoffish with you, and it makes people not want to just have a laugh with you. And I'm on here for interaction. I'm on here to have a chat with people and have a laugh with people. And you can't do that when you've got someone like this geezer hanging over your head, constantly saying you're somebody that you're not.
I think what it is, Banter, right? Sometimes we have to realise, and I've said this, everyone knows this, don't you? Some people you're just never going to get on with, and the only thing I can suggest is avoid each other at all costs. And that's
this is it, and this is it. He said to us a few weeks ago, after doing the same as what he's done now, but hounding the woman. I mean, trying to make the woman's life hell, hounding her and encouraging other people. I'd go as far as saying inciting violence towards her, and she's done fuck all wrong. Do you know what I mean? Turning into the person that he said he's protecting people from. He turned into that guy for a bit. And he's going that way again now. And that's why I've stepped in again to say to him, no, stop it. He drew a line in the sand. And then he was the one that came and shit in the sandbox. We never spoke about him. We don't let anybody speak about him in our chat. He said, let's leave it there. We left it there. And then he fired it back up again because he needed some relevance. Yeah. If he stops mentioning it, if he didn't mention either of us ever again, we'd never mention him ever again, and I won't let anybody talk about him in my chats or up to do with me. I won't have up to do with it. But
just let's put one thing in there, Banter, which I don't know whether you heard me saying at the beginning, right? I don't know Radio Babs. I've heard about it, and in fairness, I have heard people before Humble saying things that they didn't like it. There's something about it I don't know. She's never followed me. I've never followed her. And it wasn't until
but like you just said, nobody's going to like everybody on YouTube. People are going to say.
Well, let me finish this right. It wasn't until the other day, when the infamous motorway, everything was kicking off, and there was this fella in the chat.
It's Mr. England. Mr. England is Mr. England. You blocked him. Bluebells unblocks him every single time, right? No matter what he says, she unblocks him because she likes him in his chat. So she unblocked him, and I saw the comment. She told him, don't be talking about stuff like that again. So she unblocked him, and she told him not to talk about stuff like that. No, and by the same token, you called fucking OG a Nazi. Is that not hate speech? I think we're all guilty of saying things.
Wait a minute, just you're talking over me now. Now, come on. I called who a Nazi?
You called OG a Nazi?
A neo-Nazi, yeah, because he was following people who were coming out with vile hate speech and.
But that don't make him a Nazi. That don't make him a Nazi.
It does.
No, it really don't. It really don't.
It does. If you give out, if you support people, right? Wait a minute, John. If you support, people,
sorry, I'm just laughing at you.
I'm going to mute you, John, because I'm going to mute you. If you're giving out, right, hate. If you're going on someone and you're enjoying all this hate speech and giggling at it, right? I put the same label on you because you're getting a kick out of it, right? That's what I do to people. I'll put the same label on them. I didn't see. Maybe at some point, Bluebell. Wait a minute, John. John, I'm going to kick it off if you carry on. I'm going to kick him off.
See, this is the thing. It's not funny what we're talking about. For me, like I can tell by your talk, it's not a funny subject. And you think it's funny. That's what I'm saying.
I know. But wait a minute. What I'm saying is, Bluebells. I didn't know whether she was unblocking England or not. If she was unblocked him when he was saying that, I can assure you.
Look, he's a character. He's a character.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Stop it. Shouting, talking over me. Right.
No, I'm not. I'm just having a fair conversation.
What you're
talk
doing
to you
is
now.
you're jumping right in before I even finish my sentence. Now, I'd stop humble doing that to you. Now you're doing it to me. So have some respect. Then you can say what you want to say. What I'm saying is I did not see Bluebells unblocking them. Maybe she did. I may not have been looking, but I saw, because the name comes up, I saw that Radio Babs ad, and I said to Radio Babs in the chat, stop promoting hate speech. Now, Bluebells wants him on there. I'm not going to go on there again.
Did you see what she put to him to say not to talk about stuff like that?
I don't care. It's not good enough. It's not good enough when you've got someone coming out with filth like that, mocking someone for the way they're born. That's the way I see it anyway. Go on, what did you want to say, John?
I was just laughing at the fact that you started arguing. I wasn't even taking on the.
No, there were no argument there. That were more of a heated debate than an argument.
All right, okay.
I don't have any hate for her. I don't have any hate for her. I don't have any hate for you. I just think what you're doing is pathetic, and you're ruining people trying to just have a laugh on YouTube that aren't interested in anything that's all to do with you've got going on in your world.
Give you the best laugh of your life if you ever out with this person. That's a fact, yeah.
Don't interest me, honestly. It don't interest me. What you've done to the people around me in these last few months, you've put me off you absolutely 110% completely. I'd never interact with you. Like I've said, my only achievement is to get you to leave us alone because we ain't done all.
Okay, that's fine as long as the unexplained wealth and all that maybe attached to some alleged friends of mine and that are left alone. We've got a deal. Okay.
I couldn't give a flying fuck about who's unexplained wealth. I think you're drawing more of attraction to that than anybody else is. I couldn't care less. Yeah. Everything he's got, mate, I've got. Trust me on that. But I don't shout about it, and I don't tell you because I don't need to. Trust me, you've got it wrong, John. You couldn't have got it more wrong.
I'm in the Cambodian jungle getting it.
Good for you. I don't care if you're in Cambodia, Dubai, Iraq, fucking Congo, mate. As long as you're enjoying yourself and you're not fucking hurting anybody, then who cares, mate? I don't care. I come on YouTube to have a laugh, and that's what I do. Go look at my channel. We're not hating on people. We're not being nasty. We're not asking people any questions. We're not trying to gather any information. We're just trying to have a laugh. You should go do what you're doing. You go deal with all the people that you've got to do. You thing with Paddy. I don't know, mate. Honestly, that's between you two. I don't get involved. I don't try and leverage anybody else against you. I don't try and become friends with Paddy so that I can get at you. I don't play those games. I just want you to leave us alone, mate, so we can go have a laugh on YouTube.
How do you think, right? Do you think I really want to be at this game, like against folk like Deca and Paddy and that all my life? Do you think I enjoy it?
Honestly, I don't know.
No, I don't. I'd rather come on and just rip the piss out of people nicely and have a laugh most nights, which I do at home, yeah. But some nights I come off YouTube mad because it's like, people's just on there to try and dictate. I'm not saying you're dictating. I'm not saying you or Anne or anything here. I'm just talking like when you're speaking like sensitive things. Yeah, girls or vulnerable people being raped and that, which totally goes against everything. We should be running that kind of stuff right off of YouTube, and then everybody can go and have a laugh and a carry on and a joke. That's my way of looking at it. I'm trying to bloody do it right at the beginning. We were doing it ourselves. Now it's turned into a bloody circus.
No, I've said to you in the past, John, right? This is what I've said to you, haven't I? And I've been in the situation years ago when they first blew up at the Mayfair Police, when I started speaking out about what I learned and all this. And it's the frustration of you suddenly realise that people aren't listening and you're smashing your head against a brick wall. And I quickly learned one thing: you can't force people to listen, but people will listen when the time's right. But if you try and shout at people, they won't listen.
It felt like, Anne, at the beginning regarding DH, right? It felt like YouTube was just full of bloody pedophiles. It's like, what am I up against here? I'm trying to expose somebody I've never met, that's never met Amanda, Donna, whatever you want to bloody call her. And, all these lies come out and you're thinking, Jesus Christ, where are we going with this? 4 years of my bloody life to try to expose somebody who you don't know bloody half it, and I don't want you to know half it because I wish I never had it in my head.
Well, it is an interesting one, Rufus, and this is an interesting point, and people are people say this, and I think they're right in saying it. Seriously, what would half this community do if DH went to prison or left YouTube? I think the thing is, you do see, I mean, I know UK, you were the first one to start, you know, trying to get word out and questioning it. And now certain people like Craig, and Craig admits it, I'll say, Craig admits it. Worst thing that could happen for Video Craig is for Decker to go off YouTube. And I know whenever I do, and it's not the reason to do it to get clicks, because you'll see me doing clicks about other people that I don't get the clicks on. Paddy and Pop-Up Pilots, I hardly get any views on them. Decker, I get a couple of thousand views, I'm lucky. But people, if he disappears, that's it. He's become like an industry that's helping others grow, isn't it? It's just like
because I think it was Steve Rafe that pointed something out to me one night. It was something like 3,400 or something snared. Was it within the year or so?
You've gone off, John.
Down there in Newcastle or something. I mean, that's just bloody ridiculous numbers. And if that's just in one county, what are we talking about throughout the UK? Where exactly are we sitting here with Predator?
Your mic's going, John. Your mic's going. You're going into the think can.
On a number.
John,
John,
shut the mouth and just listen to you. Your mic's gone again. You're going into that tin can where you go, then it's a tinny noise. It's going again. So
better.
That's better.
Am I back?
That's it. Yeah,
so
you're back.
In the UK, right?
Can I just, sorry to interrupt you, can I just say, look, I'm gonna leave now, because my opinion on that is like, look, you've got half the people on YouTube use Decker for views, and other half do it because they want to actually help and get rid of the bloke.
Yeah.
For me, I don't get involved in it. There's enough people dealing with it. There's enough people that have highlighted it. Everyone knows what he is. If you don't know what he is and you've seen the information, then more fool you for not knowing what he is. But for me, it's not what I'm on YouTube for. As far as I'm concerned, I've come up here to talk to him about what's done, and that's it for me. So just you don't mention us and we won't mention you, and then this whole shitstorm goes away, doesn't it? That's
banter. Peace out, right? Peace out. That's it. I'll draw a line in it for the final. And if I draw a line in something, I draw a line in it. Yeah. But make sure.
Well, do you know what? I'm not going to say that I believe you, because last time you drew that line at sand and you didn't leave it. But I hope you do. For all of us, I hope you do. So
yeah,
peace out.
I'll tell you why, banter. I'll tell you why, because I believe Smackhead Stacey's working with Radio Babs, a friend somewhere along the lines, and I'm going to put a reward out, a substantial reward.
See, that's not drawing a line in the sand. They're not connected again. They're not connected. I don't know Smackhead Stacey is until you started mentioning her again. We didn't know she was. So peace out.
Smackhead Stacey's been mentioning my kids a wee bit too much.
I know, and as I've said on my live, which I know you watched because you shared, I don't agree with anyone mentioning kids. Nobody should be mentioning your kids, and you said you won't forgive anyone that mentions your kids. You shouldn't forgive them. If someone were mentioning my kids, I'm coming for you, and that's rightly so. Radio Babs is not to do with that. You've got to trust me on that, John. Otherwise, I'd say you are. All right. So I'm going to bounce. Thanks for having me on. Peace out.
Peace out.
You know you're welcome anytime, Banter, to come on in.
Thanks, Anna. I appreciate that.
Excuse me.
No, again, Banter's got his opinion. I've got mine. Was a far-fetched? I don't know, but if that's his opinion, but I'm not going to mention the guy in a bad light again. Nor Radio Babs. If she's nothing to do with Smackhead Stacey, deadbeat mum, I will never mention her again. But I will be putting a 5 to 10 grand reward out here soon for. I'm not joking, on my grandparents' grave.
You just stop saying that.
Listen, that's how
You've
serious
said
I'm
that
about
before.
This. I will get to the back
stop
of this.
Stop it saying it. John, right, that triggers me, right, because I'll tell you now, you've done this before, said on my grandparents' grave, right?
So get people on the job.
Listen to me. Right, you've done this before. Now, I have Irish and Italian background in me, and that triggers me, because I tell you now, it's an oath to the death when you swear on your ancestors, right? You've done that before and you didn't do what you said, and you are going to get in trouble because you don't swear an oath on your on the memory of your ancestors because it's a terrible thing to do.
But if anybody knows how I feel about them, they would understand. Anybody listening to me who knows me on a personal knows I'm bloody serious here. I will get to the back of Smackhead Stacey deadbeat mum, and I swear I'll never be mentioned on YouTube because where they've went, it's the same with Humble Crier. They've done me a favour with saying this Mark Wason, active DCI, as a brother of mine, because I've never heard of the guy in my bloody life. I was looking at a family tree. There's not one Mark in it. And the fact that we made sure that a good lady who's been sending stuff unconnected to Donna and all the rest of it has been making sure that the Procurator Fiscal in Dundee has been getting all the slander and that Decker's been putting out there. It actually worked in my favour because, again, it can be proved Mark Wason, active DCI, has nothing to do with me.
Oh, it's nothing to do with you. But the thing is, I just want to address this Stacey Smack, whatever the name is, or his name. The situation I have, right, was that I don't have any issues with them as such. The only issue was, and this is why I've sort of like kept me distance, and I'm not going to start slapping them off on it because they've never hit out at me. But what annoyed me was that a post was put up and it said, "Oh, Anne, can you do it? Didn't appear on your comments. Can you ask John this?" And I thought, no, she's dragging me into a battle with someone that I consider to be my friend. And I didn't appreciate it. So I told her, I said, no, don't do that. Then I read something, and I think I did misread it. I took it that she was coming out with hate speech towards trans people. And I think in retrospect, I did misread it, but I just left it there. But the only thing that soured it for me, and it's not like I'm going to be going out on it, I don't. It was just that fact that it was sort of came across when she did that. Would you ask John to clarify this when she put it on the community post? I thought, no, you're dragging me in and using me as a bullet. And I didn't like that. If she wants to have an argument with you, that's up to her or him, whoever it is.
But this is the thing, Anne. She only went into me when Paula Benny pointed at me away back last February. Yeah, I've been watching this for a long time and said very little about it. Yeah, so that's where the connection is, because Paula speaks too much. And at the end of the day, I believe the pizza man is having hellish trouble right now up in Glasgow, as it was always going to happen. You're not going to hear about half of it because you'll be that embarrassed about it. But he was warned. Again, he should, again, like the Cyclops, we'll call him, so he doesn't strike you as soon as you mention his name, the Beast of York. You know, he said that he'd seen his said acro and there was nothing on it. And then all of a sudden, again, you know, and I know, as I said to you, I've got a recorded call here with ARCID about the free petrol bomb attacks in the home in Scotland. And I've got a recorded call. I might put it out just to show when they asked for my number, I wasn't giving them it. If they asked who I thought was responsible, I said that would remain in my mind only. And that's just basically the way the cookie crumbles here. But your likes of the guy Smith that used to troll for Decker, what do you call him? Smith for the Newcastle City. He used to come on. He was like a big kind of retired, kind of big ex-traffic warden, kind of dummy type guy who used to say, like, Decker, it's like, you could be here all day, it could be any of them, but at the end of the day, I do believe we've got a lot of people been out here handled by the police, i.e., I do believe Decker Heggie has been given a lot of information to the police for a lot of years.
Well, the thing is, though, let's put it this way. If he's been put in the slammer, which people are saying now he has been, or he's going to, how does that work out, though?
Well, what will work out was what I said would happen if you go to jail, any jail in Scotland. We'll see. And if it walks out there, and, well, my word is nothing. Everybody can say my word is nothing.
What is that fella? You know that fella is Josh that promotes him.
Yeah, that's
what
character.
The hell? What the hell is the issue with him that he knows he's heard the fact? Let's say that he knows damn well that Decker's been slagging him off behind his back, because of what Joey released. And yeah, he's on there, oh yeah, I'm going to be doing this for decade and I'm keeping the channel on. It's like, oh my God, you pushover, you doormats. If someone had said that about me and I heard it firsthand after recording, I certainly wouldn't be running the channel for them.
But
Something odd's going on.
This is the way I look at it, and everybody that's called me a liar. Okay, let's talk about the pedo in the shed, or whatever you want to call him, shit in the shed, shitty arse, pop-up pirate. Yeah, he calls me a liar, Will he face me on a life? No.
No.
Deca Heggie, yeah, I've known him all for 4 years. He couldn't put me on his life for any more than a minute. He tried to create common ground and try to become friends with me on his own live in front of everybody and cut me off in front of everybody. You know, if I was the liar, yeah, why would you not put your face up there, Paddy? Get me on your live and we'll go question for question.
Paddy won't even talk to me. I offered him, I said, come on, because in the beginning, you know, Paddy was going on, I asked Stan to speak to me. And why I wouldn't speak to him, and I've said this in the past, is because he's got a dirty mouth. And you know what I'm like? I can't handle people with dirty mouths like that. It's the odd curse word. Yeah, even I can do that. But not every sentence. It's dumb. It's backward. You know, it's not a nice thing to do to talk like that. But anyway, so that's why I wouldn't speak to him. And that was it. The minute I spoke to Steve Ray, that was it. I was to be signalled out and tortured. You know, when he was with his girlfriends, Ellis and Cyclops, when he was good friendies with them. But you know, that was it. And so I said to him recently, I said, come on, we'll do a question and answer. No, like I did with you, where people could ask in the chat. And he would, no, I'm not doing it. Now, I can understand him being frightened, John. I can see it, because I'm a scary character, you know. I mean, I rule Merseyside. I run Merseyside. And he knows not to get on the wrong side of me or there'll be trouble ahead. You know, so I can understand him not speaking to me. I can understand being a bit of a little pussy by not speaking to me. But no, he won't speak to me. And if he won't speak to me, he's never going to speak to you, is he?
No, he's listen, and it's like, for example, Deca, right? I mean, he brought me on his live that night. Now I ken what Deca expected me to do, and I knew why he was doing it. He was bringing all these people on his live. He was trying to build up a case to take to court to show he was getting trolled. So he thought I would come on and just be, no. I was too clever for that, because I knew that's what he was going to try and do to me. And I knew he expected that from me. And that's how I was nice and calm. I said, I'm actually going to help you tonight, Deca. You were never questioned on graping that 11-year-old, were you? And I asked him to keep his finger away from the button, his right hand, which he failed to do, because take that to court, Deca. And this is your main troll. This is John Humble. Well, you know, take that to court.
I want to say something interesting about that, because Rhonda pulled me on something the other day, and she was right, because I started thinking about it, what she was saying. I twigged right away that I'd got it wrong when she got it right. I was saying about, you know, him getting Video Craig for stalking, which Video Craig, the way he's acting, he is stalking, there's no doubt about it. It's not just harassment, it's online stalking, which
but wait,
let me finish. Let me finish. It's not. Let me finish, right? So that's what it could be. But as Rhonda said he's on there engaging, and straight away I thought she's right. If he tried to put a case against Video Craig, they'd say, no way, you've had him on your show. You've sat there laughing with them, which the two of them were laughing with each other, not at each other, with each other. And so he wouldn't have a case against Video Craig, because, of course, with stalking, you'd have to be terrified of coming online because you're scared of this individual picking on you. So he can't go down that line. But what I think he was doing, I mean, most probably a lot of what you're saying is right there, but the view I get is, and which makes him look more suspicious, actually, is he's trying to get everyone online. Because if Video Craig was doing that to me, the way what he does to Deca, I can assure you, there's not in a bleeding million years would I be saying, oh, come on, Video, let's talk. I wouldn't be doing it. Neither would it be inviting you on. I'd be like, no, keep well away from me.
Well, what I found
that's what
really
I'm saying.
funny, Anne, was I said to Decker the other day there, I says, when I've got time, I'm going to sit with somebody that helps us behind the scenes, and I'm going to draw a wee map of Harrowby, and everybody that I know for a fact that you've scored drugs off have been busted very quickly afterwards. And I'm going to come up with a number. The following day, Decker makes a video and says, I know how Humble's getting all his information now. He's connected to a Mark Wason DCI, it's his brother. And I'm thinking, you big dummy, yeah? You've just mentioned an active DCI who I've never met in my life, yeah? He's active, right? Up in and around the court you're going to, yeah? And you've just said, you know where I'm getting all the information from. So he's presumed that I'm getting the information from a policeman. So does that make me bang on right in the money, being correct about him being a police informer?
Well, all I'll say, do you know what? All I'll say about that is, not, I should say, it's not a wise move to make, because because I've got a feeling that people were getting in touch with the force, issue force, and complaining, and if they've been doing that,
no, it's a fact. I got an email this morning from, as I say, there's a couple of people I trust up in Scotland, and I got an email to let me know that had been reported for slander against an active DCI, blah blah, because he's slandering coppers there who are absolutely nothing to do with me. And I thought to myself, and then he comes out the next day and says, this is where he's getting all his information. So he's basically...
In other words, saying that he's a corrupt cop. He's a corrupt cop, that's what he's saying. But if people have been, I'm telling you now, people have been going to that force, which I think is supposed that some of them will have, stupid enough to start complaining, saying, oh, this officer's giving information over. I tell you now, that won't go down well. That will not go down well.
It's like me saying Ian Hodgson, CID from Carlisle, is friends with Derek Heggie Sr. If that was a lie, I've said that for 2 years. If that was a lie, the Carlisle police had been up again and they would have charged me. They come up about 3 years ago and I basically chased them because I let them know I'd done a Clare's Law on them. And as soon as I let them know that, they were like, oh, heads hit the floor. Like, oh shit, what do we do now? See you later, bye-bye, cheerio. And then they went back and told Decker there was basically nothing they could do with me. Nothing.
Yeah.
That's why I put my face out there. That's why I thought, you know what, I've got nothing here to hide anymore. I'm not staying anonymous. I'm fed up with innocent people getting blamed for being humble dryer. Here I am. Come to my door, Derek. Derek never came to my door, Anne, in 3 years.
Yeah.
Now, folks said, how do you know go to Derek's door? I've no reason to go to Derek's door. I'm just exposing them.
Well, I think that's all silly. You know, when people start going to door, I know, I'm not going to mention his name, but you know, person from my side of my part of the world goes down to his door. I don't see the point of it. It all seems so silly and daft to me. To go.
Well, I've want everybody that's got to go to his door, they've got to get charged.
Yeah.
I've want everybody that's going to go to his door. He's telling people to come to the door so he can get them charged.
Yeah.
And that's not made up. Just go and look at the amount of bloody statements he's made. And that person you're talking about actually got hit with a citation today for putting leaflets out because he's trying to do them for harassment or something. Harassment or something. So at the end of the day, I mean, but again, Anne, Decker knew that guy's history. He was happy to work with him at the time. And it's personal with him because he had him in his house where his kids is. And I totally get that. I totally get it because it's a personal thing there. Again, it's like the girl Jameson, Mandy Jameson, that done the knife crime documentary. I mean, when she went and done the Sarah's and Clare's Law, she made the video. She never put anything out there which the police had told her. But she just said, if I'd known now what I knew if I knew then what I know now, you would not have got near my kids. I've already lost one, you know, and that's a personal thing again. And what did they do? He went and put the bloody documentary out the next day to get it.
I know, and then he did it after that. After he was saying that horrible. I'm not even going there because it's too much. But gorillas,
you know what I mean? And then I'm not going to mention his name, but big love to them. Him and his beautiful wife, right, who I've got to know through this, right? I mean, he basically stole an abuse story, a child abuse story off that man. Yeah, and then all of a sudden developed complex PTSD a few days after the man had told him. I mean, and
it's just an
I
hope
he's listening right now. But that guy's going through serious therapy right now because of, and he's getting triggered to hell. Yeah.
Well, he shouldn't be watching them. Look, let's put this way: he's getting triggered. What's he watching for?
It's not just that, and there's a lot more to it. I can't really get into it. It's personal.
I've got to ask something here because there's a few people asking questions or making statements I don't want to get in. So, like VC said, if Humbles, don't ever use that word, bro, on my channel. Please do never use never. If Humbles brother, yes, that's right. So, like VC said, if Humbles bro is a cop, the info must be true. And that's right, it's an own goal, isn't it? What Decker did. If your brother's a copper, that means that the information you're getting is factual.
Well, that's what he's come out and said. I've found out where he's getting all his information now. His brother's an active copper, Mark named the guy and everything. And I'm sitting, I'm going, Mum, it's my ears working right this morning. He's just mentioned somebody I've never met in my life, but he's also admitted that what I've said is true.
Yeah. Billy, I don't know what, Big Billy, that's he said something here. I don't know what this means. Ask John if it's live for MAWRA is still on.
Yes. Right. Okay. So basically, sorry, answer. I forgot to tell you today. I've actually got a live tomorrow night at 6 p.m. With Harry Fuller. Now, Harry Fuller. Yeah. So this is the boy who got chased in the van, and the police chased him against Paddy Conroy, and he said a few things. We're going to be touching in and everything. He wants to do a live with me. I reached out to him because Paddy accused me of priming this boy up and all the rest of it. I basically put a video out. Paddy made a complaint to the police. I was the only person who put the video out, and Paddy made a complaint to the police. I got arrested for it. I basically said, well, at the end of the day, I put a story on YouTube. There's nothing against the law of that, is there? It's not my story. It's somebody's. That's his truth, not my truth. I don't know, and the difference between the English law and Scottish law, right? As I said to Paddy the other day, there, I was arrested 13 years ago twice for an armed robbery on a post office and questioned twice on it, right? Only because somebody sold a Jeep to somebody and my bloody name get brought into it, basically, right? So I was arrested twice for that. It's not on my acro. It's not on my acro. So is that because it's still under investigation to this day? There's and then Paddy saying me saying out my own mouth, I've been arrested and questioned 10 times over child abuse, and then they come out with this Titanic shit. But we'll not get into that.
No.
I never said the words. What I said was the police had said, when I asked the police, when they said there was a call coming from the Wales social workers today, a call that I was beating up somebody else's children. When the police come in, they left my house embarrassed, and they said it's not the only one. And I said, what do you mean it's not the only one? The amount of calls we've had regarding stuff like this. And I went, pat me a number. He said, at least 10 on this subject. I went, you're joking. And they went, no. And they said the amount of anonymous calls, i.e. you committing crime we've had, they couldn't give us a number on it. They couldn't give us a number. I said, how many? And he said, that many, I couldn't give you a number. That's what they told me. And bear in mind, I've had the man with tasers pointed at me because somebody in control room had said that I'd phoned them and said, if you don't come and disarm me, I'm going to start chopping up Donna and the kids. Now, I'm in the house. The following day, I've got the message, right? They'd actually phoned my mobile. What happened was somebody got my mobile number, emailed the police, and put my mobile number in the email.
I remember that,
Control it. Police made a mistake and put it through. It had been a call, not an email. So they contacted Stranraer Armed Response. There's a lady that's in charge, believe it or not. And I'm standing at the top of my hall. I've got 4 coppers at the top of my hall, bloody tasers pulled out, and I'm going, what bloody hell's happening here? Obviously, they've got a kind of protocol they need to follow. They're trying to handcuff me at the top of the stairs, and a square box about maybe 3 foot by 3 foot. And I said, listen, one of these has got to fall down the stairs. Take me down in a chain.
You get your mic's going again, John. John, your mic's going. You're getting the tin can effect.
Sorry, it's just where I'm on. That better?
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
I'll plug my charger in. So, yeah, the amount of wasted police hours, calls, anonymous calls, it's been made. The police cannot give us a number on how many's been made because I'll give you a number. They told us there's been over 4,000 wasted police hours on us, me and Donna. And that came out their mouth. Over 4,000 of wasted police hours. And that is over 85 grand's worth of taxpayers' money. On a normal, yeah. So that's what we're talking about here. This is the level of I've had coppers at my window at 2 o'clock in the morning looking in to see if Amanda was dead or unconscious in the hall. And I'm like 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm not even know my bloody door teeth at 2 o'clock in the morning, chases them in bed, and you see them looking through every window in CCTV, and then they're back at 9 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, walking away again, apologising. People have had over 4,000 of wasted police hours in the last 4 years. I've been put under surveillance. I was reported, and we've actually got the court thing here on an evidence pack that the court sent maybe by accident, where it said I was importing and exporting drugs on the same day into Holyhead Harbour. I mean, okay, people import drugs, but this is the first I've ever heard of bloody Scotland exporting drugs. It's just been absolutely crazy. I mean, if you look at Cumbrian Truth, he said there was importing and exporting drugs out of Holyhead with racing pigeons.
Oh, I remember that.
He believed that. He believed that.
Wasn't that Ashley that came out with that?
Yeah, Cumbrian Truth.
Yeah.
Ashley Douglas. He believed I was importing and exporting drugs out of Holyhead with racing pigeons.
Yeah. That is. But
and he believed it as well.
Isn't it?
But that was Tony Burkett that was telling him that stuff, and then Paula Poison, I will call her. She then jumped in to I'll meet you when you get out, and I think we could become an item. I've seen some letters, and I can maybe fling them out there someday for a laugh. But yeah.
That I wouldn't do, because that's not only embarrassing to her, that's embarrassing to Ashley, isn't it?
But listen, she's infiltrated a lot of this, Anne. She has infiltrated 90. I'm going to say 90% of the trouble out here. Bearing in mind, it was her that got me to go after her through me that got me to go after Tony Burkett to get his acro out. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, our bloody pals with each another.
Yeah. That's it. You can never predict it.
and then through me, I would say that he'd always have him down in WOWZERS back. Well, that was enough for me. But yet, they smear things like they put in you, and I mean that's all they could keep coming out with me.
Do you know what it was, right? I can never wait. I think I'm going over old ground here about true media, but it was just a stupid thing. He kicked off, but he got
absolute little coward. That's all it. Just a little coward.
He got nasty with it, and then when Dingo slipped up, Chris Hartley and revealed that what I've been told by Cyclops that the two of them had been at my home stalking me, right? Do you know what?
Well, if anybody's got Chris Hartley's address out there, I'd love to send him a get well card. Get in touch with me through Instagram or Twitter, because that's another one that's not got to be forgiven.
Well, he turned around. What was he said about your children? He said that it doesn't matter, terrorise people's children.
You remember the day I phoned him? I phoned him live. Absolute dummy. But I found a rainbow door, and then I get told maybe I've moved to Hull, so I've got 2 addresses there. But again, it's like acting. what's the phrase for it again? Repent at leisure is kind of acting anger, repent at leisure.
We'll get off that subject. So anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start winding up in a minute. So I'm looking forward to this one tomorrow. Got any thing of spoilers about your interview tomorrow with Fullard?
See, to be honest, Dan, I'm not nervous of it. I don't know. I need to keep the boys.
He's got issues, hasn't he?
Well, I'm going to say that day in the van, he definitely had some sort of breakdown. 100%, yeah. I've been not as bad as that, but I have been in a kind of psychosis state of mind at that point. Yeah, I've been kind of close to it, where everybody I thought had wronged me in life, I was going to get that day. I've been there, so I can relate to that a bit. But seeing him in the last couple of videos, he's a lot wise. He's a lot smarter than and wiser. He's actually quite an intelligent boy. I believe he's an electrician or something to trade. This is only through what Barry's told Patch on a live. He's no a stupid boy. He's actually intelligent. Listen, there's two sides to a story, and somewhere in the middle is the truth. But I can tell you that man in the shed is shook. He is very shook.
I've sensed that.
You know, but I also have to protect the boy because at the end of the day, I don't want him getting to jail or something he said in my channel, because I'll get held responsible for that.
What I think it is, you can tell by his demeanour, and especially when he was in the van, you know. But again, you can tell by his demeanour the way he's sort of like, if you imagine the Swan, but instead of being, you know, like the Swan ADHD, he's got that sort of effect about him. And that's why I think you have to tread carefully, but it'll be fascinating to watch. Absolutely fascinating.
There's something. I mean, the thing. I mean, obviously, we'll need to touch on it, because he said it, and again, it got a lot of things. Because Viv Graham's not here to defend himself, and you've got a boy getting a high police chase, saying that he was non-stop by Viv Graham and Paddy running him about like a trophy for years. Now, people, I need to touch in on that, because that's what people be watching it for. But also need to be careful, because he wants to bring Paddy's whole team of murdering scumbags, that he calls them, down, but also need to protect the boy. He doesn't start mentioning names, because I don't want to be responsible for the boy getting shot or murdered or something. I need to be careful. I need to treat it like the time when we interviewed Davy Glover. I need to treat it that way. I think the interview with Davy Glover and Cookie that night was very interesting. Davy Glover was a very, very, very dangerous man back in the day. I mean, alleged stories, somebody told me that he would run about with a couple of loaded shotguns in his back seat of the car. Like, he was crazy.
Let's put this way, I've heard things, and I'm not going to say from what source I got it from, but I've heard things that you used to get up to, and it's like, you know, and it doesn't paint him in a nice light at all, not 100% at all.
No. Listen, he's a very nasty, evil man, right? But again, undereducated, misdiagnosed, not treated. As soon as the doctors got a grip of him.
John, come on, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, I'm sorry.
It doesn't mean. I'm not making excuses for a man, but look at the difference in him now since he's been given medication. He gets a depot injection. He's not got that anger he's carried as a kid. He's not got it any longer.
Has he got that anger, or is he just too wasted by the medication?
I don't know, and if you look back in the interview that night, I don't know. Listen, I've been told he's applied for court for immunity. I mean, I think one of his daughters, a barrister or something, he told us that night. That his children have done very, very well in their education. But then you have to look at Paddy, the Patch, the man in the shed. Now, people don't realise Patch stayed with Davy Glover for 5 or 6 years of their teen years. Like, I think if he was 11, he was 16, 17. Paddy stayed with Davy Glover. There's a lot more to this than meets the eye. Patch has just tried to reflect everything that he has done and been accused of on everybody else. He's got a team of people there who believe what he says to be true, and I find that really, really dangerous.
Do you know what you realise from people like Paddy Conroy, right? His channel. I must say, I can say the same about yours in a lot of ways, John, if you don't mind me saying that.
Of course.
But it's people love repetition, don't they? It's the same thing again and again and again. It's like, wait a minute, Patrick said this yesterday. And same thing the next day. And people still watch it. It's like, watching. There's me doing a thing, Sean Atwood's podcast, telling me story and saying, right, I don't need to ever do that again with anyone else because I've done it once. I don't need to do it again. I should be on every day, shouldn't I? Talking about the same. But that's what Paddy does. But in relation to Thingo, Grillis has made a good thing, which I was thinking. People like that talking about David Glover and the environment they come from shapes him. Well, his papa shaped him because he said that his papa wants to be a criminal. And this is why I bang on, right? And people think I'm being so uncool when I start going on about people. Parents of a YouTuber on these panels, and they're coming out with vile language and they're making disgusting statements and they're being aggressive. It's like, that is going to rub off onto their kids. And all that they're doing for the children is ensuring that the children will end up in prison, will end up being thugs, will end up, doing that. That's what they're doing. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, isn't it? The way you treat your kids is the way they're going.
100%. 100. The stuff, I'm going, maybe 90% is no fair. Maybe 80, I'm going to hold Patch responsible for at least 80% of the destruction that has been caused in the Northeast right now. I'm holding them responsible for what I know. And I think I wish the bigger boys would just stand up and say, right, you know what? Let's draw a line in the sand, because the police, I believe, are either trying to create a turf war or because you look back in it, back to Patch, just quickly, right? His brother died there last week. Now, he told a man, Davy Hislop, I can say his name because he's not ever reported. Davy Hislop was in Paddy's shed, and he said, listen, people are out there saying that your family don't speak to you. And Paddy said, that's lies. They folk that was leaning over the fence that day are no my family, not. Well, that's fine then, Patrick. Your brother Mick died last week, yeah? And I believe Mick, Lenny, Neil, okay? Not one of them, yeah. This is how bad he is. When his mother died, he never even went to his mother's funeral. He waited to the following day because the whole family's disowned him. His whole family's disowned him.
Well, maybe that was the best thing too, because he would have just upset people. So that was the right thing to do, wouldn't it?
He's just reflected everything that he's done, and he's trying to reflect it onto everybody else. And I don't like bringing the guy's name into it, but there's an author there, right? And he keeps trying to bully that author, and I believe he's trying to get that bully. He's trying to bully him to get the guy hurt. All the guy's done is wrote bloody books and acted in a few films, and at the end of the day, to what his truth is. Bomb, I don't want to say his full name because he stopped me for a privacy before. We'll call him Bomb. He makes documentaries. I mean, Patch was his best man at his wedding. And the reason they fell out about the book, the reason the Fog in the Time was come out, Bomb done it, was because Patch wanted Bomb to put in it the Sayers family were a bunch of grasses. And Dom asked for that evidence of them being grasses, and he would have put it in the book. Paddy didn't have the evidence. That's why they fell out.
Why do people?
Why they fell out.
Why do? Oh, do you know? I can't get this. Why people think? I mean, I can understand people being interested in big American gangsters, or really the Italians or Sicilians or Russians. But why are people interested in pissy little things that call themselves gangsters in the UK? They're not gangsters here.
Listen, everybody wants to be a gangster, right? Until you get a gun at your head. As I've looked in the barrel of a gun once. I was a young boy, 19, and a boy jumped out of a car and pointed a gun right at my head. There was 7 of us against 2 of us. And he said, I've just done 5 year. I'm getting another 10 to 15 if I pull the trigger. And he asked for my nickname. He says, where's such and such? And I went, oh, he went away home. He was fed up waiting. But you know, that's the difference. You know, was the gun real? Bloody sounded real when it hit the metal off underneath the chair and he was pulling it out. I wasn't taking any chances. At the end of the day, if anybody wants to be there and be a bloody gangster, good luck to them, because
they're not gangsters.
I'm saying good luck to them, because I certainly don't. The people I know certainly don't want to be framed or named or vain as a gangster.
I mean, it's embarrassing. Do you know what? That was an eye opener for me. You know, when I came onto YouTube and I first started noticing, I don't know how the hell I noticed them, but somehow I noticed these gangster people and all that comes up. Always Sean Howard, wasn't it? And I'm watching them, thought, oh, that's a gangster. And I was saying, you know, to Sean, things like, do you want to be sued for bleeding misrepresentation? I said, they're not gangster, they're just little bleeding folks that went to prison who've come out again. Said, what's gangster about that? And so I was saying this to him, and I'll never forget when he heard my real name. I was talking to him and went, I see what you mean. Now he shuts up. I thought he doesn't think that I'm related to the mafia, does he? But the thing was, though, that's it. I just look at them and my mouth drops, and they're going on, gangster, and they'll put this video up talking to gangster, and it's like, oh, they're not gangsters, they're not the criminals are not gangsters. But it amuses me, and you see them coming on, they're all, you know, thinking they're odd, and they want to be gangsters, and they're just people who are, how can you put it? You can tell that if they didn't go to it, they must have attended or should have attended, you know, schools.
The best clickbait I've seen so far on YouTube for 2023 is KRN TV put up Newcastle gangster Paddy Conroy catching chickens. See that chicken pen? That's the best clickbait laugh I've ever had in my life, is watching them try to catch these bloody chickens. It's
like when they call him, you know, say, oh, England's toughest gangster. Paddy is England's toughest gangster. You living in a shed with a fanny dog. Is that what they call a gangster? Can you imagine them walking around, big old gangster with that little fanny dog?
Well, I've as I say, I've been in Newcastle a few times, and I've been shown about Newcastle, i.e., city centre. Had many a coffee outside it, and trust me, it wasn't Paddy Conroy that woke me about Newcastle. That's all I'm saying. He lives about 30 miles outside it, and what he calls is a farm. The farm, he lives in, I believe, a static caravan. He's got no running hot water and no electricity. And I'm not laughing at that in an evil way tonight, because at the end of the day, if that's how he wants to live, that's fine. He goes to Bill's for a bath on a Wednesday or a shower, but Bill takes car battery. This is the truth. Car batteries, and charges them up so he can run the wee lights in his shed. And I think Rhonda's been loyal to Paddy. Charges his laptop battery and leaves it in his bin for him to use the next night. I mean, if that's how that man wants to live, sitting there absolutely obsessed with the Sayers family of Newcastle, day in, day out. Now, folk could say, oh, but you've done that about Decca for the last 4 years, and you'd be right. I could say, yeah, you're right. But the difference is, what Paddy's doing is reflecting his behaviour of himself and trying to put it onto others. What I'm trying to do with Decca, well, everybody's onto him now. It's been a long haul. It wasn't easy. Maybe I should have put my face out there quicker. I don't know. Some things happen for a reason, and people tell me in Carlisle not to put my face out there because they would put a gagging order on me, basically. So I went and got the Clare's Law, and that kind of basically put the CID came and basically questioned us, and I just let them know that we had the information of his Sarah's and Clare's Law, and I've never seen that two CID, their eyes hitting the floor so quick with disappointing in all my life. I wasn't rude to them. I just asked them to leave the house after that and they went back and told Decca, yeah, we've got the IP address, but there's nothing we can do here.
Well, this thing gets me about these ex-cons, just get back to that subject, is when they go on and they're like taking umbrage that they're victims of slander, they're victims, I never did. Look, these are people that didn't give a rat's tiny one. A rat's tiny. Official wash machine, I'm going to block you if you carry on, because I don't know why you're saying that. It's weird what they're saying. They keep on saying this, and I'm just going to block you because you're getting on my nerves now. When they go on, they take great umbrage as the wrongs to be done to them. Excuse me, what about the wrongs? What about the PTSD that can result from someone putting their chainsaw to your neck? And then they're laughing about it as in the shed as an old man. What about all that? What about Marvin Herbert expecting sympathy? Thinking that he's a victim that's been wronged by when he thought Sean was wronging him and all this. I'm sorry. When you go out and you treat other people's rights like trash, don't go complaining when your rights are treated like trash. See what I'm saying, John?
Yeah, well, yeah. I totally get it. It's like somebody contacted me the other day and went, look, Billy Moore and Joe's maybe got to reach out. I'm not getting involved between Joe and Billy Moore. I don't like Billy Moore's opinion on Decca Heggie, but I'm not getting involved in it because I keep getting involved in everybody. There's a few people I will stand up for on YouTube that will be loyalty, but there's also a lot that will not be, because as much as I don't hold anything against Joe, but the recordings of him and Darren G, could I trust the guy? No, I don't. I don't think I could trust Joe. Will I dislike him over it? No, I'm not. I'll not dislike him. It's just somebody that I'll only know through YouTube. I'll never be a personal friend with him. Billy Moore. Do I believe Billy Moore's back in the drugs? No, I don't. I really don't believe he is back in the drugs. Because I've got experience in that. Listen, I could drink a bottle of wine a night, and if you've done that for a month, if you've got a history of abusing drugs, you could look as if you're back in drugs. But I could put my hand in the Bible, and I have not touched heroin since 2014.
Yeah, Billy Moore, I can say a lot, because I don't like Billy Moore what he's done over this Decca Heggie. Not Decca, what he's done over Darren G. I think that was way out of order and he should know better. But no way, and he's just had a little baby, hasn't he? So there's no way he's on. You can tell he's fresh-faced. It's like Danny Christie. You can tell he's not. It's too fresh-faced. You don't get that look. And as I said, in the past, before I joined the police, I worked with drug users on treatment testing orders. And you can tell. And Danny Christie and Billy Moore, you can tell just by looking at the face, they're too healthy looking to be on drugs.
Yeah.
But anyway, John, what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to start winding up. Because
that's actually, I said I wouldn't go on long the night, so that's nearly 2 hours. I don't know.
It's been good.
Guys in the chat, I need to actually start doing it through the iPad so I can read some of the comments. But at the end of the day, that's my opinion. I'm not going to mention banter or Radio Babs in a bad light ever again. I'm just going to they're going to stay in their lane. I'll stay in mine. I gave my opinion tonight.
Well, that's all you can do. And in those,
just tune in tomorrow night. And
we've thank Kelsey because she got the link, and we've been advertising the fact that you've got that tomorrow. So thank Kelsey.
And one last thing, if Harry Fullard is okay with this, would you mind jumping on tomorrow night, or do you prefer to stay out of it?
I'll jump on. I'd be made up. Yeah, if he agrees to it, I'd love to jump on.
If he agrees to it. Because you would ask him questions that's not going to put him in bloody jail. I need to really think this through, because
what I can do, I can twig when he's going to say something that might be troublesome. So if you explain to me,
I know Patch has got to try and get this boy jail for whatever he says tomorrow night, I've told Paddy, I have never blocked Paddy from my chat. However, he's blocked me. I am blocking Paddy from the chat tomorrow night. I'm blocking every one of his subscribers that I see. No doubt the new ones will come in, but the mods will be on that. And at the end of the day, I've left Anna Conley. If she wants to come in the chat and ask questions, she's certainly welcome to.
I doubt she. I think she needs to. She made the right decision by getting off you. Well, no keeping a break from YouTube.
Yeah,
I think that's. She doesn't know she's being used as a.
She's been used as a pawn, and it got me bloody angry. And I maybe said things out of turn about her, but it got me angry seeing her getting used as a pawn. And I was getting angry, frustrated because I could see it and she couldn't. I'm like, why are you sitting here with this absolute vulgar bastard? Yeah, that goes against everything you stand for. Sorry for swearing. I just couldn't get my head around it. But she's got. I'm going to say something tonight, right? And I'm going to. I could put 99.9% of my faith in this that Michael Sayers did not murder Viv Graham.
But again, what I'll do, I'll leave it there, John. But yeah, I'll come on to it if Harry Fuller's willing to do that, and I'll try to make sure that if I hear anything that's being said, just
he might say no. I just want to stick to you.
But that's all right. That's all right. That's fine by me. So anyway, John, thank you for coming on. Thank you to everyone. Say thank you to
everybody in the chat.
Say thank you
even the haters.
Do you know what? I swear to God, he won't let you finish one sentence with it. John, thank Kelsey because she's been advertising your show.
Thank you very much, Kelsey. Thank you.
So
thank you very much, Kelsey.
Thank you, everyone, darlings. Bye-bye, Jim.
Big
Bye-bye.
Billy, Wilson, Michelson, Wilson.
Don't thank Big Billy. Don't thank Bill Billy. Do you know what he's been doing? He's been popping off, coming on, popping off. He's been going to that Cindy ones, hasn't he? Yeah, he's been watching that Cindy ones, hasn't he? Yeah, and then coming in. Yeah. Anyway,
and get that squad out.
Anyway, so I'll see you all. See you, I just saw Maud. See you, Maud. Lovely. So bye bye, everyone. Bye bye, Humble. And
good night.
See you tomorrow.
Good night, Anne. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.